Alright, so in the last video we actually installed the ignition software from Inductive Automation. Again, go back to your configuration, go back to your actual gateway and make sure everything is still configured and active as you have it set. I've saved all my passwords so that you can easily go in, so you can do the same, right? With that said, again, we did the client test, just to recap, and we made sure that our devices was connected. They are connected. So at this point, all we have to do, and we've already gotten the designer, so all we need to do at this point is go in here, and we're gonna actually go into our, it should be on my desktop right here, there we go. It added, when we installed the designer launcher, what you want to do, you obviously have a spot on your desktop for that, but just for the sake of easy finding it, right? So we want to add a designer, and again, this shows two different setups, right? So we're going to go with the local host right now. This is just going to be because I had already previously set something up. So and it will change too if you have a different communication path. So we're going to do the local host like we did, because we're going to use our gateway, right? And we're going to choose right here, and then we're going to open the designer. So at this point, it will open the ability to, again, design your actual graphics and stuff like that, make your connections, add your tags, and stuff of this nature, right? So we will be prompted to actually come in here and put our password in again. Just keep that in mind. And then we do have a project. So now, actually we don't have a project, but we can now add a project. So it's pretty straightforward to do the new project. You want to come over here and give it a name. Again, this is going to be our batching station project, which we've actually have. Let's just see. Well, I didn't like that. Actually, this is project title. We'll just put it right here. Template. We don't have any project templates, so that's fine. Let's give it batching, and we'll go ahead and give it that. And you don't have any parent types, you don't have anything like that, so let's create a new project. What this is doing at this point is we're able to actually start make a new screen, come over here and actually add like our tag database and stuff like that, and get things started, and kind of show how this stuff is starting to come together. So now you're actually in the main process where you can create your first screen. So the main window, you can choose right here. I'm going to have this pop up as the batching. So that's going to be my main window. Instead of just choosing main window, it's just going to have batching station, right? So that's going to be the menu right here. You can choose the size of it and everything. As far as the tags, you can come in here now and add your tag database to this. So doing your tag database is really just as simple as connecting to what you've already connected to on your gateway. You want to browse devices and come over here, and this is going to be your OPC again that we set up in our gateway previously. And this is going to come over here, and again, we did not do servers, we did the devices. Okay, so this should be everything that we have. You can choose to come over here and install. You can't just move a whole folder, unfortunately. When it comes down to that, you can actually do, like, say for instance, the control programming right here. Let's see it. For some reason, maybe it is trying to move the whole folder, but it's not going to be accessible to do so. So it's not allowing me to go any further. So let's just give it just a second, and I'll pick back up on the video as when it gets done. Apparently, trying to move a whole folder will we'll give it some time where it tries to do something and it can't do it, so it's unaccomplishable. So anyway, I'll pick back up in just a second as soon as it's done. Okay, so we know now what not to do, right? Don't try to drag a folder. When it comes down to it though, you can add a new folder and structure things like that. But when it comes down to like doing the whole device itself, you can come over here and highlight your program, like your program tags, stuff like that. You can see in this mixing control program, the PIDs that I have, the recipe system. So some of these are not actually populating as quickly as I would suspect, although some of it might have been global that I've added. So let's look for, we can do mixer. Let's actually mixing time. Let's just do the tank levels. So we have tank levels, and come over here and just have to find, this is the actual tank level for the current corn syrup. We'll add that in here, and there's a tank level for each individual product, right? So I built this actually on Factory Talk before, so just to keep in mind, if anybody wanted to like reference how I got this program or where I built the program, it's done on the other videos. So there was 3 products: a master project, a master product, a master batch, the corn syrup, and then we had the fructose corn syrup, I think. No, that's the other. We already have corn syrup. So let's see, what was the last one? I'm visiting, like I'm trying to remember this myself as I go. Tank level. Caffeine, that's what it was. All right, so we have these levels in here that we have, and we can go ahead and add these so we can apply and add those values in there. You can see that it does have values that it's reading from the actual PLC right now. And then we come over here, and we can come over here and add different things as far as like how we want to, if we want to like a level indicator, we can do that. Cylindrical tank. So it's very easy just to drag and drop things. You can also come over here, and I believe you can add from here, like you can just paste right here and choose your display. What do you want it to be? We can do a numeric label for one, and that's going to show me the value of that actual tag. This one right here, we can do the same thing, give it a numeric label, right? And then this one right here, we can do the same thing, give it a numeric label. Now we obviously have 3 tanks, right? So in the first implementation, when I did my first install, or on the original project, I did my 2 tanks up here, right? So I did my 2 tanks up here, and then I did the corn syrup over here on this side. So the project ran. Now let's go ahead and add this in and give it a actual, this is the caffeine tank, so let's put it right here. Let's give it a tank, and let's have it full. Let's see, and it's based upon the fill level of the PLC file, or the PLC tag at that point. So just keep that in mind. So this is the caffeine, or the corn syrup, I'm sorry, and this is going to be the actual. So with this said, we already have our tanks. We already have our tank outputs, right? Our tank levels, if you would. So we can put those on the side right here. Easily come back in, add our graphics in a little bit later. But just showing how to add tags and just showing how how to really kind of build something really quick. It's really a good thing to have, because again, you could have picked over here and drag and dropped over here, and then pick your tag that you wanted to put in there. You could have put a tag in there. You could have did that. But again, how much easier is it when you're coming in here doing it just as we did it before, right? We just drag that in here. Oh, and we accidentally took a tag out. So we can come over here to edit and undo. So that's one thing. And let's add our tag back in, because I did actually drop that tag. So caffeine, master batch, we want to browse devices again. Come over here, devices over here, and this was in the global objects. And then it was an M. So just make sure you don't delete just like I did, because you'll end up with the same problem. Okay, so we've applied, have that back in there, and just in case you do mess up, that's how easy it is to recover. All right, so we have our tanks, right? So what I want to be actually have you understand too is up in the project. By default, it's COM read only. So if you were going to, and that means we can read a tag from the PLC, but if we were to write a tag, like say for instance, we have a start button or something like that, we need to have COM write, right? So when you come over to projects, say have COM read write. And then, so let's add a tag in there for the start. Let's see, we'll go ahead and browse tags and find our start button. Let's see where we did our start. I believe it was HMI or batching. Let's see. I usually do like HMI start or something like that. So yeah, HMI batch start. So we have the HMI batch start we add and HMI batch stop we have, and we'll go ahead and add those two in here. All right, so now we have our buttons, right? So we can come over here and drag these in here just like we did before if you want, and come over here, drag these in here, display. Is it basically a multi-state indicator? Is it a control? This is going to be a, let's just say a one-shot button. And we're going to change the name of this, so you can change the name down here just by changing this, and this will be start batch. Okay, as long as I spell batch correctly. All right, so that gives it a name. All right, so we still want to change the text down here, so start batch. And again, spelling is not my best feature, so start batch. So we have that. We can resize that if we want to. We can also have our stop batch as well. So again, it has the tag in there, right? But when it comes down to it, it does not have the proper name. So this, when you get on to naming it, you'll just come down here to the very bottom panel, and then you'll change, this will be stop batch. And then I like to do both of them anyway, so stop batch. Actually, stop batch. You don't need to do both, but I like to do both. This gives us a start, stop, and we can resize these if we want to. You know, if by some chance you deem that they're not their proper size. So let's actually go ahead and, you know, actually run this and actually start our batch. So it's writing to our batch right now. Then it goes into, it actually starts opening valves, it starts opening different things. So it, at the point where the pump starts, it will start pumping out of the master batch right here. But when it comes down to it, you can see that that is actually communicating, right? So let's actually open the file. So let's see if I have the batching station on here. Batching station project, have to go right here and open up and get online with the actual file and search for the batching station. So I want to go File Explorer and find batching, and then see if it's on the desktop. Batching, batch, and batching station. I believe this is just the HMI. So I don't want to put in the word station. Yeah, that's just the HMI file. And this is the sequencer, this is the project. So I'm not finding where I have this on this actual VM, although I should, being that I did actually have it, but I can upload it if I want to. So that will take a little bit more time, but I'm not seeing it right off the bat. And forgive me for my being unorganized. That's just part of programming sometimes when you're doing different things. So let's see, I don't see it on This is the batching station sequence backup HMI. There's a file. All right, so I did find a file. As you see, the last time I worked on it was last year, so third quarter of last year. All right, so, and we're obviously in the middle of 2024 right now, so that would be why I couldn't find it. All right, so what I want to show you here is going into the actual PLC file, right, and actually showing the start button and everything working. So we'll come over here, we'll connect, we'll go over here to our PLC file, get it online. Again, I could have probably did this earlier, but I didn't. And this is, yep, correct. Okay, slot 6. Just want to make sure it actually did change types. Interesting. Wonder why I changed types. So let's just change the type. So I must have changed it to a L7075. Might have been, I had to use the other one. All right, so update firmware. Yeah, so I did, the controller is version 35. That is the instance. And let's go ahead and update the firmware of the actual, actually I don't want to update the firmware of the controller. I want to actually update the firmware. So I don't want to upgrade the firmware in the controller. I do want to upgrade the firmware in the project file. So I'll come over here, 35, come over here, add that in there, and we'll come over here. That shouldn't take long to do, and then we'll go online with it, because this was version 32 to begin with, and obviously the reason I built it on 32 and didn't go any further with it to begin with is because of the PID auto tune. It wasn't there. So with that said, that's where we're at. So it's building the file right now, and then hopefully we can get to the point where we can see what's going on here. So we'll hit stop batch. It's writing that tag and see exactly where we are. Okay, so let's come over here. We have our program updated, and let's go online. Let's go right here and go online. I'm probably gonna have to download. Not sure if it's gonna take. Oh, yeah, and upload. So this won't take very long because it's just a simple program. It's not very long. If it is a huge program though, if you do an upload, it does take quite a while. Just keep that in mind. But in the sake of what we're doing, it's not that complicated. So mix controls, you can come over here and see where I have batch controls and I have batch start. HMI start right here is going to be this button right here. So HMI batch start push button. So again, we can stop this real quick and see what this is actually looking for. It's actually in the writing process right now, but we have our HMI stop and HMI start. So in this case, we can go and look and see if it did actually indicate that. Let's actually see if that worked. Let me shrink this down just a little bit so you can see. Okay, so what we're concerned with is the read write working, right? So we're concerned with our tag writing. Not that we're starting a batch, but is our tag writing. Okay, so you can see if this comes in and initializes, it will one-shot this and hold this timer. Okay, so doesn't look like, yeah, it actually does. There it is. It is writing. So just keep in mind, you know, the whole point of all of what I just did was to show you that the comms read write by default is only read only. Again, when it comes down to why the batch is not starting, I do believe there's other elements. I have a first out fault right here, so there's a fault in the system, probably because the drive is not connected, so it will not start the batch. Although if I did get, you know, through that, and let's come over here and see where that fault is too. So you can come over here and see, do I have a critical fault? I do have a first out fault. First out fault is 15 or 52. 52s, come over here in alarms and look over here as through my mask and find out through my mask where are my faults. So I have actually 3 faults. So first one is going to be the power flex is not, just like I said, the power flex is not connected. It's not okay for the instance. So when you go to search that out, I have controls in here looking to monitor that actual device. But that said, the code is not connected, so that could be because of, again, the wrong IP address, or it could be just the way it's set up. But for the sake of ignition, right, it's still trying to write this one tag, but again, that's because it's not finding it. I believe I did take out the batch stop. But with that said, hopefully you've seen how easy it is to add things in here. Just so you see, if you want to see what one of these levels change, I can come over here to the level. Basically, I'm simulating the levels in this program. So if you want to see that, tank sim. And right here, let's just do the master batch. It was 40. Keep in mind, this was 40.45. Okay. So if I do 35, for instance, you can see that it's 35 now. Now I do have an ability to refill this stuff, so I can come over here and refill these tanks, and also come over here and see that. So this one's full, right? Completely full. I actually overshot it, so that does show that. And then you can tell the rest of these are filling up. So you can see the data does work back and forth, and it does work. Maybe I need to set the tolerances of this tank a little bit closer, or even change it in the PLC program so that it doesn't overshoot, because again, I am simulating these, right? So it may overshoot just a little bit based upon, you know, what it's doing. So, but I can stop that. I can limit it right here and say, okay, you know, whatever the case may be, change that to, let's just say 99, and the next one to 99, and final one is 99. So this time it should not actually overshoot. So let's put these back down. I'm just showing this as an example again so that you can see. All right, so let's put this as 50 and it's counting. Let's put this one at, let's see, it's 56, and let's put this one at 70. Okay, so these should be still filling right now, and when they come in and hit their points, you can see they shouldn't overshoot now, because again, I'm stopping it at 99. So right there it goes to 99. This one's going to go to 99, and again, it was that sensitive, right? So at this point, we haven't stopped yet, because our batch, and right here we have to untoggle this. So we did see our data work. We did see how to set up a screen. We did see, again, saving this. We can save what we did so far and continue and pick up on another video. But we did a lot through this video and showed different things on you know, things to look out for. We look for things that obviously are, you know, easy to do, easy to implement, and then going ahead and testing those. Again, the harder part to everything was me getting everything that I needed to open up and show you. But again, you know, for that time, I appreciate your time for watching that. But again, when it comes down to it, that's how you easily add things to the actual PLC, or to the actual ignition from framework, or your ignition HMI system. You can just add your tags right here, add them in, and then simply just drag them and drop them where you want them. Again, when it comes down to, you know, adding piping and stuff like that, you can do pipe intersections right here. So if I wanted to tie these tanks together, add another tank, I could easily do that. With that said, hopefully you learned a lot from this video, and we'll see you guys on the next one.